Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we will dive deep into the mysterious web of secrets surrounding Dr. Portia Robinson as Elizabeth Baldwin and Dr. Lucas Jones team up once again to uncover the truth behind the blackmail schemes that have rocked Port Charles. With Brad Cooper out of the picture, the intrigue has only deepened and new players like Drew Kane have entered the fray. Join us as we explore the unanswered questions, hidden motives, and shocking revelations that could change everything for Portia and those around her. A lingering mystery in Port Charles. The departure of Brad Cooper from Port Charles has not quelled the curiosity of Elizabeth Baldwin and Dr. Lucas Jones. Instead, it has ignited a renewed determination to unearth the secret Brad was using to blackmail Dr. Portia Robinson. During a tense conversation in Miami, Brad admitted to Lucas that he had dirt on Portia, but he vanished before spilling the details. Now, in the quiet corridors of General Hospital, Elizabeth and Lucas find themselves whispering over coffee in the break room, piecing together fragments of a puzzle that refuses to come into focus. Their shared concern for Portia, coupled with a nagging sense of unease about what could be so damning, fuels their quest. They've seen too many secrets unravel in this town to let this one slide, especially when it involves a colleague they both respect and admire. Elizabeth, with her knack for empathy, recalls her previous attempt to get Portia to confide in her. It was a moment filled with unspoken tension. Portia's eyes darted away, her hands fidgeted, and her usual composure seemed to crack under an invisible weight. Yet she held firm, revealing nothing. Now, with Brad gone, Elizabeth wonders if Portia might be more vulnerable, perhaps even desperate for a friend. Meanwhile, Lucas, with his analytical mind, can't shake the memory of Brad's sly grin when he hinted at Portia's secret. Whatever it is, it could ruin her, Brad had said. His words echoing in Lucas's mind like a haunting refrain. Could it be a professional misstep? A personal scandal? The possibilities are endless in a town as drama-laden as Port Charles. New threats and old secrets. As if Brad's departure wasn't enough to complicate matters, a new shadow looms over Portia in the form of Drew Kane. Rumors swirl that Drew has taken up the mantle of blackmailer, using the same mysterious leverage Brad once wielded. Elizabeth, ever observant, catches a hushed but heated exchange between Drew and Portia near the hospital's parking lot late one evening. Drew's tone is sharp, his stance intimidating, while Portia's face is a mask of barely concealed dread. Elizabeth's heart sinks as she realizes that Brad may have passed the torch, or rather the incriminating information to Drew before leaving town. Could this be the same secret? And if so, how did Drew come to possess it? Was there a clandestine meeting, a shady deal struck in the underbelly of Port Charles, where secrets are traded like currency? Back at the hospital, Elizabeth shares her suspicions with Lucas during a late-night shift. They huddle over patient charts, pretending to discuss work, while their real conversation dances around the edges of conspiracy. Lucas's brow furrows as he suggests that whatever Brad uncovered must be tied to Portia's role at the hospital. Brad worked in the lab, Lucas muses, tapping a pen against his chin. He had access to test results, records, maybe even confidential files. If Portia made a mistake or covered something up, Brad would have sniffed it out. Elizabeth hesitates, her loyalty to Portia warring with her instinct to seek the truth. She argues that Portia is too ethical to tamper with anything, but Lucas counters with a grim reality check. People do desperate things when they're backed into a corner. We've seen it before. Their debate spills into speculation about what kind of hospital-related scandal could be so devastating. Was it a misdiagnosis that led to a patient's harm? A falsified report to protect someone or to hide a personal failing? Elizabeth shudders at the thought of a cover-up involving a life-and-death situation, while Lucas wonders if it could be tied to a high-profile patient whose case Portia handled. Their theories grow wilder by the minute, each one painting Portia in a graver light, yet neither can quite believe she'd crossed such a line. Still, they agree on one thing: they need to dig deeper, even if it means risking their friendship with Portia to uncover the truth. An unexpected ally spills a clue. The investigation takes a surprising turn when Lucas, in a casual chat over dinner at the Metro Court, brings up the topic with his aunt Ava Jerome. Known for her sharp tongue and sharper instincts, Ava initially plays coy, sipping her martini with a knowing smirk. But Lucas, ever astute, notices the flicker of recognition in her eyes when Portia's name comes up. He presses gently, cloaking his curiosity and concern. "I just don't want to see Portia hurt, you know? If Brad had something on her, and now Drew does, she might be in over her head." Ava hesitates, her fingers tightening around the stem of her glass, before letting slip a bombshell. "Let's just say Portia may have adjusted some test results, but you didn't hear that from me." Lucas's jaw drops, though he quickly masks his shock. Ava, realizing she's said too much, doubles down with a hurried confession. She reveals that Portia tampered with Heather Weber's medical tests to ensure the dangerous woman remained locked away, far from her daughter Trina Robinson. It was a desperate act, Ava explains, born out of a mother's fierce need to protect her child from a violent past. Lucas feels a pang of sympathy, understanding the lengths a parent might go to shield their family, but he's also stunned by the ethical breach. Portia, a doctor sworn to uphold truth and integrity, crossed a line that could cost her everything: her career, her reputation, and possibly her freedom. Now Lucas faces a moral dilemma. Does he share this explosive revelation with Elizabeth, knowing it could alter their perception of Portia forever, or does he keep it close, hoping to confront Portia privately and urge her to come clean before the secret spirals further out of control? As he wrestles with his decision, he can't help but replay Ava's words, piecing together how Brad must have stumbled upon the altered records in the lab archives, using them as leverage against Portia until he left town. What lies ahead for Portia and her allies? The tangled web of secrets in Port Charles grows ever more intricate as Elizabeth and Lucas inch closer to the truth. Will their determination to uncover what Brad and now Drew holds over Portia lead them to the shocking reality of Heather Weber's manipulated test results? If they do discover the full story, how will they react? Elizabeth, with her compassionate nature, might urge Portia to seek forgiveness and make amends, while Lucas, bound by his own sense of justice, could grapple with whether to report the breach or protect his friend. Their partnership, forged in shared curiosity, might be tested by the weight of what they uncover. And what of Portia herself? With Drew tightening the screws and the threat of exposure looming larger each day, she may find herself at a breaking point. Could Elizabeth become the confidant Portia so desperately needs, offering a safe haven to unburden her guilt? Or will Portia dig in deeper, risking everything to keep her actions hidden from those she loves most, including Trina, who remains blissfully unaware of her mother's sacrifice? Next, we will explore the escalating tension between Emma Drake and Jocelyn Jacks as a stolen flash drive and corrupted files threaten to unravel secrets and ignite a fierce rivalry in Port Charles. With hidden agendas, ethical dilemmas, and high stakes at play, this drama is just getting started. Buckle up as we delve into the intricate web of deception, suspicion, and undercover missions that could change everything for these young women and the shadowy figures pulling the strings behind the scenes. A flash drive fiasco sparks suspicion. In the bustling halls of Port Charles University, a seemingly small incident is brewing into a major conflict. Emma Drake, a determined and tech-savvy student, has discovered that her meticulously crafted project file stored on a crucial flash drive has been corrupted. This isn't just a minor setback, it's a devastating blow to months of hard work aimed at securing a coveted internship under the watchful eye of Professor Dalton. Emma's initial relief at recovering the drive, thanks to Jocelyn Jacks supposedly finding it, quickly turned to horror when she realized the data was irretrievable. Late at night, hunched over her laptop in her dorm room, Emma's fingers trembled as she tried every recovery trick in the book, only to face the sinking realization that her efforts were in vain. What Emma doesn't yet know is that Jocelyn wasn't the innocent Good Samaritan she pretended to be. Behind her friendly smile and casual demeanor, Jocelyn had a mission to steal the flash drive, sabotage the contents, and return it without raising suspicion. However, her execution was far from flawless. Instead of slipping the drive back into Emma's bag unnoticed during a crowded lecture hall moment, Jocelyn botched the plan. Caught off guard when Emma frantically searched for the missing drive in the campus courtyard, Jocelyn had to improvise, feigning surprise and handing it over with a convincingly concerned expression. But was her act convincing enough? As Emma replays the moment in her mind, a seed of doubt begins to sprout. Could Jocelyn, with her oddly convenient timing, be hiding something more sinister? Jocelyn sets sloppy cover-up under scrutiny. Jocelyn's lack of finesse in pulling off this covert operation might just be her undoing. Under the direction of the enigmatic Jack Brennan, Jocelyn was meant to execute the theft and corruption of Emma's work with surgical precision. Brennan, a man of calculated moves and steely resolve, was livid when he learned that Jocelyn failed to return the flash drive discreetly. During a tense meeting in a dimly lit corner of a Port Charles diner, Brennan's icy glare bore into Jocelyn as he hissed, "You were supposed to be invisible. Now you've painted a target on your back." His frustration stems from the risk this blunder poses not just to Jocelyn, but to the larger scheme he's orchestrating behind closed doors, one that involves powerful players and hidden motives yet to be revealed. For Jocelyn, the stakes couldn't be higher. She thought she could play the role of the helpful friend, but her clumsy cover story might not hold up under scrutiny. Emma, though shaken by the loss of her project, isn't one to let things slide. As she sits in her room, surrounded by scattered notes and empty coffee cups, her mind races back to the day the drive went missing. She recalls seeing Jocelyn lingering near her backpack during a study session, in the library, a fleeting moment that now feels loaded with intent. If Emma connects the dots, Jocelyn could find herself facing accusations that threaten not only her reputation, but also her standing with Brennan and his mysterious allies. Will Jocelyn's deception be exposed, or can she charm her way out of suspicion before Emma pieces it all together? Emma Sipp's crusade against cruelty. Beyond the flash drive debacle, Emma Drake is driven by a mission far greater than academic success. Her true passion lies in exposing what she believes to be unethical practices in Professor Dalton's laboratory. Having followed Dalton's trail from California to Port Charles after a college suspension tied to her activist antics, Emma is convinced that animal cruelty is rampant under his supervision. Her nights are spent poring over restricted lab schedules and cryptic emails, searching for any shred of evidence to confirm her suspicions. She dreams of saving countless animals from suffering, picturing their grateful eyes as she blows the whistle on Dalton's alleged misdeeds. But her past missteps haunt her. Emma knows she can't afford another run-in with the law, especially under the watchful eye of her grandmother, Anna Devane, who's already well-versed in Emma's history of bending the rules. Anna, a seasoned investigator herself, has warned Emma time and again to stay out of trouble in Port Charles. Their last heart-to-heart, over tea at Anna's cozy apartment, was laced with concern as Anna pleaded, "I know you mean well, but you can't keep crossing lines. Let me help if something's wrong." Emma nodded then, but her resolve remains unshaken. She's determined to infiltrate Dalton's lab and gather damning proof without resorting to the illegal tactics that got her in hot water before. Sneaking into restricted areas during a late-night study session, or befriending a lab assistant for insider intel are among the less risky ideas she's mulling over. Can Emma balance her thirst for justice with the need to protect herself from further consequences, or will her crusade push her into dangerous territory once again? A potential betrayal in the making. As suspicion festers between Emma and Jocelyn, the possibility of confrontation looms large. Emma, fueled by frustration over her ruined project, might take her grievances straight to the university authorities. Though she lacks concrete evidence tying Jocelyn to the theft and corruption of her flash drive, she's not above playing detective. During a quiet moment in the campus cafe, Emma sketches out a timeline of events on a napkin, pinpointing every instant she left her belongings unattended. Her memory sharpens on a specific day when Jocelyn hovered unusually close to her table, chatting about trivial things while her eyes seemed to dart toward Emma's unzipped bag. If Emma voices these suspicions to the right people, it could spell trouble for Jocelyn, even if fingerprints on the drive are explained away by her heroic recovery story. Meanwhile, Jocelyn's allies, Brennan, and a shadowy figure known only as Vaughn are scrambling to contain the potential fallout. In a clandestine meeting at an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of Port Charles, Vaughn, a man with a knack for fixing problems, suggests planting false evidence to throw Emma off the scent. Make her think someone else had access to her stuff, he growls, lighting a cigarette in the dim light. Brennan, though skeptical, agrees that protecting Jocelyn is paramount to their undisclosed goals. But can they orchestrate a cover-up convincing enough to keep Emma at bay, or will her persistence unravel their carefully laid plans? The tension is palpable, and every move counts as these two young women find themselves on a collision course. What sits next for Emma and Jocelyn? The drama surrounding Emma Drake and Jocelyn Jacks is only heating up in Port Charles, with secrets, suspicions, and hidden agendas threatening to explode at any moment. Will Emma uncover the truth about Jocelyn's role in sabotaging her project, and if so, how far will she go to seek justice? Could Jocelyn's alliance with Brennan and Vaughn shield her from consequences, or will their shadowy dealings drag her deeper into danger? And as Emma pushes forward with her mission to expose Professor Dalton's lab practices, will she manage to stay on the right side of the law, or will her past catch up with her under Anna's watchful gaze? One thing is clear, in a town like Port Charles, nothing stays hidden for long. Whether it's a corrupted file or a corrupt lab, the truth has a way of clawing its way to the surface. Stay tuned to ABC General Hospital spoilers for the latest twists in this gripping storyline, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Emma will outsmart Jocelyn and expose her deception, or will Jocelyn's powerful backers keep her one step ahead? Next, We will unravel the tangled web of deceit surrounding Nina Reeves as she scrambles to hide her dark secret involving the drugging of Drew Kane. With Portia Robinson already in the crosshairs and new threats emerging from every corner, Nina's carefully constructed facade is starting to crumble. Join us as we dive into the high-stakes drama, unexpected alliances, and desperate cover-ups that could spell disaster for Nina in Port Charles. A secret yet to surface. In the shadowy underbelly of Port Charles, Drew Kane remains blissfully unaware of the full scope of the conspiracy that led to his drugging. While Brad Cooper has pointed the finger at Dr. Portia Robinson, revealing her involvement in the sinister plot, Drew has no inkling that Nina Reeves is the hidden mastermind pulling strings behind the scenes. Late at night, as Drew sits alone in his office at Aurora Media, nursing a glass of scotch, he pores over cryptic notes and half-remembered conversations, sensing there's more to the story. Could Portia have acted alone, or was there a silent partner orchestrating the scheme? His thoughts flicker briefly to Nina, whose charm and calculated smiles often mask deeper intentions. Though he lacks evidence, a gnawing suspicion begins to take root, threatening to upend Nina's carefully guarded secret. Nina, meanwhile, is haunted by the constant fear of exposure. She paces the elegant floors of her Crimson Magazine office, her mind racing with worst-case scenarios. She knows Portia holds the power to destroy her if Portia cracks under pressure or faces her own reckoning. She might spill everything to save herself. Nina's restless nights are plagued by visions of Drew confronting her, his eyes burning with betrayal as he pieces together her role. Beyond Portia, Nina dreads the possibility that Drew might uncover her connection to Jacinda, the mysterious figure she hired to carry out the deed. Every phone call, every sideways glance in Port Charles feels like a ticking time bomb, and Nina is determined to bury her tracks before the explosion comes. A dangerous game of cover-ups. As whispers of the drugging scandal begin to ripple through town, Nina's desperation intensifies. She spends long hours strategizing in the mirrored elegance of her penthouse, plotting ways to silence anyone who might expose her. Her biggest immediate threat comes from Ezra Boyle, a political hopeful with a knack for sniffing out leverage. Ezra, who unknowingly crossed paths with Jacinda the night before Drew's fateful incident, is on the verge of revealing damning details to Drew. During a chance encounter at the Metro Court, where Nina and Portia dined together that same evening, Ezra noticed their intense, hushed conversation. Now with his memory sharpening, he's poised to connect the dots, realizing the two women were likely behind the scheme. If Ezra opens his mouth, Nina's world could come crashing down. Determined to stop him, Nina arranges a clandestine meeting with Ezra in a secluded park on the outskirts of Port Charles, far from prying eyes. Under the dim glow of a street lamp, she offers him a deal he can't refuse: a substantial financial contribution to bolster his election campaign. Her voice drips with faux sincerity as she promises, "I'm happy to support your vision for the future, Ezra. Name your price." Ezra, ever the opportunist, flashes a sly grin and accepts the hefty payoff, agreeing to keep silent about what he saw and suspected. For now, Nina breathes a sigh of relief, but the weight of her secret grows heavier with each bribe. She knows this is only a temporary fix. Ezra's loyalty lasts only as long as the money flows, and in Port Charles, greed often trumps honor. An unexpected threat returns. Just when Nina thinks she's dodged one bullet, another looms on the horizon in the form of Jacinda, the operative she hired to drug Drew. Out of funds and hungry for more, Jacinda slinks back into Port Charles under the cover of darkness, her arrival sending a shiver down Nina's spine. Their reunion takes place in a dimly lit alley behind the Metro Court, where Nina's initial shock morphs into barely contained panic. "You can't be here," she hisses, glancing over her shoulder for any sign of witnesses. Jacinda, with a smirk that betrays her leverage, demands another payout, a sum far larger than the initial agreement to disappear for good. Nina's hands tremble as she calculates the cost, both financial and personal, of keeping this loose end tied up. She has no choice but to comply, funneling a small fortune into Jacinda's hands with the stern warning to stay out of sight until she's long gone from town. The encounter leaves Nina rattled, her confidence fraying at the edges. She ushers Jacinda away, insisting she lay low in a rundown motel on the edge of Port Charles until the heat dies down. Every creak of the floorboards, every stranger passing by her window makes Nina jump, fearing someone like Drew or even Portia might spot Jacinda and start asking questions. The extortion stings, not just for the money, but for the reminder that her control is slipping. Jacinda's return is a glaring red flag that no amount of cash can fully erase the trail of deceit Nina has left behind. As she watches Jacinda slink off into the night, Nina wonders how many more ghosts from her past will come knocking, each demanding a price for her sins. The cracks begin to show. Nina's relentless efforts to cover her tracks are becoming a Sisyphean task, with every step forward met by 2 steps back. She's juggling too many variables: Portia's potential betrayal, Ezra's tenuous silence, and now Jacinda's greedy return. At a high society gala at the Metro Court, where Port Charles's elite mingle over champagne and secrets, Nina forces a smile as she chats with Drew, her heart pounding beneath her designer gown. Does he suspect her? Is that flicker in his eyes curiosity or accusation? Every casual remark feels like a minefield, and she overanalyzes his every word, searching for hints that he's closing in on the truth. Her paranoia is palpable, and even her closest allies begin to notice the strain in her usually composed demeanor. The pressure mounts as rumors swirl through town about Drew digging deeper into his drugging incident. A late-night tip from a loyal confidant reveals that Drew has been asking questions at the hospital, probing staff for any unusual behavior from Portia around the time of the incident. Nina's mind races. Could this line of inquiry lead him straight to her doorstep? She doubles down, instructing her legal team to prepare airtight alibis and planting subtle distractions to steer Drew's focus elsewhere. Yet with each new scheme, the web of lies grows more tangled, and Nina can't shake the feeling that her meticulously built empire of secrets is on the verge of collapse. What lies ahead for Nina? As the drama intensifies in Port Charles, Nina Reeves finds herself at a precarious crossroads. Will her bribes and manipulations be enough to keep Ezra Boyle silent, or will his ambition push him to betray her for a bigger payoff from Drew? Can she trust Portia to hold her tongue if the walls close in, or will Portia throw her under the bus to save herself? And with Jacinda's return stirring the pot, will Nina manage to keep this volatile wildcard out of sight, or will someone spot her and unravel the entire conspiracy? The stakes have never been higher for Nina, whose every move is shadowed by the risk of exposure. In a town where secrets are currency, her carefully crafted lies are becoming her heaviest burden. Will Drew finally connect the dots and uncover Nina's role in his drugging, or will she outmaneuver everyone to protect her place in Port Charles's power structure? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: the truth has a way of surfacing, no matter how deep it's buried. Stay tuned to ABC General Hospital spoilers for the latest updates on this gripping storyline, and share your predictions in the comments. Do you think Nina will manage to cover her tracks, or is her downfall inevitable?